You don't lose focus because you're lazy. You lose it because your brain thinks your work is a threat. Willpower can't override biology. If it worked, it would have worked for you already. And honestly, if it could, you wouldn't be watching this. So here's the twist. The people with the strongest focus aren't disciplined, they're engineered. In the next few minutes, I'll show you 3 neurological triggers that switch your brain into a clean 60-minute focus block on demand. There's also one mistake that quietly kills your focus before you even begin. If you fix that first, everything else finally starts working. Stick around to the end and I'll give you the 1-sentence checklist that lets you run this entire system immediately after this video. And who am I to tell you discipline was never the deal breaker? My name is Dr. Salman Aziz Mirza, triple board certified in adult psychiatry, child and adolescent psychiatry, and addiction medicine. And I've bandaged enough burned out brains to know that focus failures are mostly mechanical, not moral. Here's what most people never realize. Your brain doesn't stall because the task is hard. It stalls because the target is uncertain. The lateral prefrontal cortex, or LPFC, is the brain's top-down control center. It only engages when it knows exactly what it's locked onto. When the target is fuzzy, your working memory fills with tiny unresolved questions. Those "what exactly am I doing" loops jam the system and weaken the beta burst control signals, the brain's internal traffic lights that guide attention. Once those signals falter, your brain defaults to escape. And all of this happens before you think you're making a decision. Dopamine, your brain's effort to reward predictor, is already forecasting the value of starting. If the cues around you signal painful, endless, undefined, dopamine tilts away from action. And when there's no clear endpoint, the amygdala, your threat detector, flags the task as danger. Vigilance rises. Deep focus never starts. With my patients, the pattern is almost eerie. Patients don't fail because a task is difficult. They fail because it's vague, the room is chaotic, and the timeline is open-ended. So instead of fighting biology, we work with it. Give the LPFC a clear target. Give dopamine a clean prediction. And give the amygdala a defined stop. That's how you get your brain to engage. Let's break down each of these one by one. Your brain isn't resisting the work, it's resisting the start. And for most people, the stall comes from one thing. The task is too big in your head. Work on the final project, start my term paper. That's not a task, that's a fog bank. So we shrink it until your brain can actually grab onto it. Not write my paper, instead it's open the doc and type 3 bad sentences. That's it. Physical motion, no perfection. No planning vortex. So here's a 3-step clarity drill. Name the exact file you're going to open. Name the first click or keystroke that you'll make. And name the first ugly output that you'll produce. Ugly is intentional. Lowering quality expectations lowers the activation threshold. What you can do is use the start script. Say it out loud. Open the file. Type 3 bad sentences. Don't edit. Begin within 10 seconds before your brain has time to negotiate. Next up, kill the friction. Preload the doc. Put your sources in one folder. Cursor ready where you'll type. Every tiny decision you remove is one less excuse that your brain can use to stall you out. And here's where people blow it. They overplan instead of starting. They chase perfect clarity. They start editing while they're drafting, forcing their brain to create and judge at the same time. This is a guaranteed stall. There's a pattern that I see constantly with students. Stalled students use vague verbs: work on, research, figure out. Focused students use physical verbs: open, type, outline. It sounds tiny, but the difference in execution is massive. Once clarity flips on, the next blocker appears fast. Your environment is already predicting whether this session will be painful or doable. And that's the next trigger that we'll flip. Your brain decides how hard a task feels before you start, and the decision is environmental. The moment you sit down, your brain runs a prediction. Is this going to be doable or painful? And your desk answers for you. If your space is cluttered, tabs multiplying, notifications glowing, your brain predicts endless and unpleasant, and your energy drops before you even begin. But here's the part no one tells students or young professionals. You don't need a full makeover. One cue can flip the whole forecast. So pick one. Option A, change your location. Go to the library corner, empty conference room, and maybe even the other end of your desk. New context, new prediction. Option B, remove the friction. Close the tabs, full screen the app. Phone goes in a drawer or a backpack, out of sight, not face down. And option C, add one sensory anchor. The same playlist, same lamp, same candle. You're conditioning your brain to recognize this is focus mode. The mistake I constantly see in people rearrange everything to avoid starting. Or they chase novelty, new playlist every session, new app, new workflow, which prevents any association from forming. So here's your 60-second reset ritual. Phone away and out of sight. Tabs to 0. Anchor on and start. You're not aiming for perfect, you're training a prediction. Even with clarity and cues, your brain still needs safety. If a task feels endless, it doesn't see focus, it sees danger. So you give it an exit. Time boxing is one 60-minute block with a guaranteed stop. It's long enough for depth, short enough to feel safe. And here's how to run it. Set a 60-minute timer. Set a non-negotiable stop. Treat that stop like a class or meeting you cannot blow off. Start the block with the same start script. Open the file, type 3 bad sentences, don't edit, right? Say it, then begin within 10 seconds. Want to go longer because you're in the zone? Don't. Going past the stop teaches your brain not to trust the boundary. And once trust breaks, the threat response comes right back. Breaks should be palate cleansers, not dopamine traps. So stand up, sip water, step outside, don't scroll on your phone. Common mistakes I see, treating the timer like a suggestion, skipping over the stop, choosing breaks that hijack the next hour, and forgetting basics like water or a charger and breaking focus to go get them. But here's what I see in clinic every week. If you add the guaranteed stop, the frantic scatter turns into calm depth, usually in 1 to 2 sessions. Same brain, new rule. The difference is certainty. Here's your 1-sentence checklist. 1 microtask, 1 environmental cue, and 1 60-minute block with a guaranteed stop. Say the start script. Open the file, type 3 bad sentences, don't edit. And start within 10 seconds. Here's what trips people up when they first try this. Your brain is going to negotiate with you. Not because you're lazy, but because this is new wiring. The pitfalls are small. 1 more thing before starting, letting your phone stay visible, blowing past a stop. None of that is failure, just leftover patterns. And the fix is the same. Clarity, cues, and a clean stop. So here's the takeaway. Your focus wasn't missing, it was mistriggered. And now you know how to flip the switches. Run 1 60-minute block today. Pick 1 task. Give it a physical first motion. Set your cue, and honor the stop. You'll feel the shift almost immediately. And tell me this in the comments. Do you lose focus before you start or halfway through? If this finally made your brain make sense, make sure to subscribe for more focus tools and real neuroscience from someone who gets you. Because I'm one of you too. And when you're ready, watch this next. The top 3 mental health hacks that I recommend to all of my patients. If today's system gets your focus online, that video keeps everything else running smoothly. And that's linked down below. Until next time, be safe and be well.